talk about this idea of Brahman or spiritual or spirit underpinning reality in two ways. In very human terms, because we're human beings, so even if you want to try and relate to an abstract idea, we'll use some kind of human terminology. So I'll use it there to start our journey. You see, when you see this idea of compassion, we all seem to have it. Even the animals, insects have it. Insects will feed the little baby, insect, etc., and even kill themselves. So, what is this thing called compassion? This kind of, love that is flowing naturally from every living thing. That is the sign of the spirit, Brahman, manifesting in human terms, compassion. Second thing is, we are all kind of inquisitive regarding the world that we encounter. We are like thirsty for knowledge. Second feature about every living thing, even a single cell being will transfer out its environment, where's the heat and light coming from. This kind of becoming, trying to become knowledgeable is the second aspect in human terms of what we call the spirit. The third aspect that I like to point out again and again is, these living things that we have are not in compliance with the forces of nature, they're in defiance of it. They don't like to be buffeted by forces of nature. They want to rise above the forces of nature, harness them and rise and sit above them. This is a sign of a living thing. That's what humanity is all about. See, we are sitting with all these lights here. No longer in the clouds, in the wires here. So you harness nature. These are the three kind of human ways of relating to the idea of spirituality. Compassion flowing naturally. You're not saying the word love and compassion. Some kind of, you feel affinity for the human beings, other living things, your near and dear ones, whoever. Second, becoming, if you like, knowledgeable. You are inquisitive. Third is becoming empowered. This is the most important definition of a living thing. These are all three signs of the spirit. It doesn't come out of matter. Mr. Dawkins won't agree with me, but this does not come out of matter. He says, this is the way the genetic pool can be maintained. I don't agree. There's something else winding up matter so that these three things can flow out. And these three things are compassion, inquiring the nature of reality, and third, becoming empowered. This is, if you like, the human way of, in a way, trying to get some handle on what is called spirit, Brahman. But now I give the more esoteric vision that comes from people like Adi Shankara. They say, if you want to really press somebody hard and say, no, come on, define Brahman for me. What the heck is it? You say Brahman, Nirgun, Nirakara, some handle, something, just apart from one word you're throwing in my face. By the way, the word Brahman means, Braha means cosmic. Brahman means a cosmic principle, not a person underpinning reality. So far, okay, just abstraction. Mr. Lakhani, give us some handle. The handles that we had, the two ways, same idea. One said, Sat Chit Anand. That means the nature of truth, ultimate reality, ultimate truth. Not just relative truth, but ultimate truth. The nature of ultimate truth. Sat Chit is of the nature of consciousness. And Anand, it is blissful, not just looking for pleasure. It's not a pleasure principle. It's something higher than pleasure and pain. Bliss. This is the three ways you can link with the idea of ultimate reality in a much more esoteric manner. But there's another way we use it. And the other one that came from Adi Shankara, he says, of the nature of asti, pati, priya. Asti, from the word asti we get the word A-C-E-T, and from the word A-C-T we get the word existence in English. So the nature of existence. Then the second word, bhati, is the nature of consciousness. And third one you say, it is priya, it's a sweetie, sweeter than the sweetest. So this is the way we try and encapsulate the idea of Brahman in a more esoteric sense. Now modern science are now coming back to this, especially with the first two, let's say, asti, of nature of existence. Physics is telling the world that you are so sure about, the material world, is nothing but a wiggle in existence, a boom, shudder in existence. So existence is underpinning to reality, says quantum. And then you talk to a neuroscience, they say consciousness is a real problem for us. We don't know what the heck it is, and yet we can't access reality without this thing called consciousness. The nature of bhati, your consciousness. So it's underpinning to reality. So again, modern science is coming very close to what we've been talking about, this kind of handles on Brahman. In Priya, I have not touched on it, but the reason why, we have this idea of why we must rise above this kind of very hedonistic approach to life, means just living for pleasure principle, and rise above the idea of pleasure and pain to achieve our true nature, which is essentially blissful. This is the third definition. So these are the three ways you can encapsulate the idea of Brahman in more esoteric manner. Okay.
Free e-learning course in Hinduism. To register, please visit www.hindu-academy.com.
Talks on Hinduism. Sponsored by People Care. Encouraging caring for the elderly in their own homes. For more information, please visit peoplecare.com.